Hey guys, welcome back to another sports stuff video. Today we'll be talking about the NFL draft and just giving out my grades to certain teams, how I think they did, what team did the best, what team did the worst. Let's get into it. I'm sorry that I haven't really been posting this week. I'm currently dealing with both an ear infection and I'm also dog sitting for a family member, so I'm not at my house much and I'm going through a lot of pain right now with my ear, but I just really want to get this video out because I just really want to talk about the NFL draft. If you guys do enjoy, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Likes would be greatly appreciated, just solely on the basis of like, I'm in a lot of pain right now, but I'm trying my best to get this video out as soon as possible. It's been about 6 days since the draft. I'm sorry, I'm trying my hardest, but let's get into it. First, I just want to talk about the draft overall. One, Cleveland, major success. I loved the vibe watching the stream. I can't imagine the vibe inside the building. There were so many fans from so many different teams, and outside of the like the little complex, you could see probably thousands and thousands of Cleveland Browns fans. Apparently, it was the second or third most watched draft in NFL history since 2014. Like when they started broadcasting it and moving it around the different cities, it is the third or second like highest viewed one. That's awesome. Cleveland is a very big football town, so I'm not surprised. And just overall, I think almost every team got better. While I think the lowest grade I'd probably give is a C-, and even then, a C- most years is about average. Where it's like, yeah, you didn't get better, you didn't improve anywhere, you obviously got better in places, but you didn't improve a lot, and there's still some holes. There's only one team I would grade that low, and they only had 3 picks, so like, what are you gonna do? But let's get into the draft and my draft grades for individual teams. So first off, teams that I think excelled. I think the Bears, I think the Chargers, I think the Vikings, I think the Browns had the 4 best drafts in all the NFL. What I'm going to do is go through every single team's pick, and like the major ones that mattered of those 4, because I really do think those are the 4, bigger. I do think those are the 4 best drafts that happened. That of all the NFL, I think those 4 out of the 30 did the best. So obviously in the first round, they traded up from, I believe, pick 20 to pick 11 to select Justin Fields, the future quarterback. I love Justin Fields. I don't know why he slipped past number 2. For some reason, in the last couple of months, and especially the last 2 weeks of the draft process, Justin Fields got so much slander. I think Justin Fields is the second best quarterback, and in the right system could be the best quarterback in this class. I think the Bears are one of those systems that really do fit perfectly. He's a better Trubisky. I think that's the greatest way to say it. He is all the pros of Trubisky with very little of the cons. Fields is accurate. He plays through injuries. He's a locker room guy. He's a really good leader. He's intelligent. He has all the athletic ability that you want. He may not be as great of a runner as Mitchell Trubisky, but I think if you scheme certain runs in his favor, he could be like a Patrick Mahomes type of runner, where he runs 2 or 3 times a game, and you get 5 to 8 yards. And I think that's what you want, right? You want the guy that in certain situations can get you those 5 yards on designed runs, and if the pocket breaks down, isn't gonna freak out and is actually gonna excel just because of how good he is with his his eye mobility, his arms and legs, and just the intelligence to break from the pocket and actually go, I guess, with the play. I love the pick. I think that's the perfect spot for Justin Fields. Fields, Denver, and Bears were actually the 2 teams I thought were the most perfect fit for him. I was hoping someone would have taken him. Thank God the Bears did. And in round 2, the Bears, I believe, traded up again. They grabbed Tevin Jenkins, offensive tackle. I love it. I in my final mock draft, I actually had Tevin Jenkins going to the Bears at 20. So the fact that 19 picks later, they were still able to get the offensive tackle that I had mocked to them in the first round and the second round, amazing. I genuinely love this pick. It did waive a veteran right. Chicago waived veteran right tackle Bobby Massey earlier in the offseason, and they just cut starting left tackle Charles Leno. So I think he's probably gonna move to the left side, protect Justin Fields for the rest of as long as Tevin Jenkins is there. I think he'll play left tackle for them. Right tackle, they did draft also Larry Borom, who could be a starter right tackle. He needs a little bit of development. I'm not a big fan of Larry Borom, but I think for where they chose him and what they need him to do, I think he was a good pick. Obviously they need tackle help, and I think Larry Borom could be one of those guys that maybe starts day 1 if they can't find a veteran right tackle to actually come in and help. But The Bears are very high on offensive line coach Juan Castillo. He's been very good in his ability to mold young offensive linemen. So I think Larry Borum and Tevin Jenkins could both be really good tackle pieces for the future. In the 6th round, they grabbed Khalil Herbert, running back, Virginia Tech. Running back, I don't know why. I'm going to be honest here. I don't know why they drafted a running back. I'm going to be honest here. They had David Montgomery, Tariq Cohen, and they signed Damian Williams in the offseason. Herbert does have really good return game, and he's actually one of the better returners in this draft. So I guess that could be a reason that they want to, maybe get some return depth or even better return options in the draft. Round 6, I love this. Daz Newsome, wide receiver, North Carolina. One of the coolest names in the draft. They really only have two or three wide receivers, in Allen Robinson and Darnell Mooney, that they know they want for the future. Anthony Miller, they've been shopping around. I'm surprised Riley Ridley and Javon Wims are still on the roster, so none of them have been slam dunks since they were drafted. Marquise Goodwin opted out of last season because of COVID, and he had just had a child. But I'm really surprised Riley Ridley hasn't been more important to this Bears offense. I thought he could have been a really good number 2 option, and he really hasn't, become that. So hopefully Daz Newsome can become that slot 3rd option who can sometimes, go on the outside and go deep. Next, they grabbed Thomas Graham Jr., the corner. Again, you only really have one starting corner in Jalen Johnson. They did sign Desmond Trufant and Artie Burns to low money deals, but I think Thomas Graham, for the depth and just again, the 6th and 7th round, especially this year, is just shooting darts at a dartboard. But given the positional need, he's walking to a fairly good situation where he could, maybe start a game or 2 this season. And in the 7th round, they grab Kyrus Tonga, D-tackle. Yeah, they need D-tackle help. They only really have Eddie Goldman, Akeem Hicks, Mario Edwards at D-tackle. This is just depth piece, again, throwing dart at a dartboard. But I think they did a really good draft. I would definitely give the Bears the best draft in the league. But, again, Bears, Browns, Vikings, and who's the 4th team? And Chargers. I think those 4 teams did exceptional. The Chargers obviously grabbed left tackle Rashawn Slater and cornerback Asante Samuel in the 1st and 2nd round. Doesn't really matter what the rest of the picks are. Though where they picked Asante Samuel and Rashawn Slater, steals. The Browns were able to get what many people had as the 3rd best corner at 26 in Greg Newsome, and then the number 1 linebacker in Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah in the 2nd rounds, and Anthony Schwartz in the 3rd round, a speedster, a stellar draft. And then with the Vikings, they were actually able to trade back from, I believe it was it 13 or was it 11? I think it was 11 or 12. They traded back 9 spots to the Jets. The Jets grabbed Elijah Vera Tucker, and the Jets actually had a pretty good draft. But the Vikings were able to trade back, I believe, gain an extra 1st round pick for next year, if I remember correctly, or a couple of mid-round picks, and grab Christian Darrisaw, the future tackle. What a stellar move! Genuinely, that was a stellar move by them. Also, they got a couple pieces, on the defensive side later on in the draft. I believe they also got Ben Cleveland. Sorry, no, Ben Cleveland was selected by the Ravens. That's my fault. But no, the Vikings still had a stellar draft. They grabbed some defensive help. They grabbed Chaz Surratt, who I think was a really good Anthony Barr understudy, and just the Vikings had a stellar draft. But those are my 4 teams I think I'd give an A. Now, again, there wasn't a lot of teams that did bad, but this team did bad. The Houston Texans. I know the Houston Texans are going to be put as a lot of people's worst draft. They only had 4 picks though, right? They had 4 picks. The problem is who they picked. There's a lot of really good people on the board when they chose, and they chose some of the outliers. In the 3rd round of pick 67, they grabbed Davis Mills, quarterback from Stanford. And at pick 89, they got Nico Collins, wide receiver from Michigan. At 147, they got Brevin Jordan, tight end from Miami. That was a steal, though. And then in the 7th round with 195, they grabbed Roy Lopez. The only good pick is Brevin Jordan, in my opinion. Nico Collins could be a good pick in the future, but I think day 1 starter, Brevin Jordan was the star of this draft for the Texans. But Davis Mills in the 3rd round at 67, that's got to tell you something about Deshaun Watson, right? I mean, apparently the lawsuit isn't going his way. Apparently there's rumors that he might not even be able to play all of 2021. So I guess Davis Mills is their backup plan and potential future starter. if Deshaun Watson does go the way of he's not playing at all, or he has to be traded or something, or even faces prison time. It's going to be very interesting to see how that situation comes out. Because if Davis Mills is the future quarterback of the Texans, yikes, you know. Nico Collins and Brevin Jordan, I do like those picks. I think there are better wide receivers than Nico Collins at the board at 89, like Anthony Schwartz, like I believe Diame Brown was still available. I know for a fact Terrence Marshall Jr. was still available. But Rory Lopez, again, as a D tackle, you just need to fill out that defensive line depth after J.J. Watt left. He'll probably make the roster, but they signed like 28 free agents on the offensive and defensive side, so it'll be interesting to see what the Texans do. But the 4 picks, I got to give them a C-. Brevin Jordan really did carry that draft class for the Texans, so hopefully they can develop those 4 players and the really good players as they need to. But yeah, those are my NFL draft grades. Some, just steals I want to talk about throughout the draft. Terrence Marshall Jr. to the Titans, steal. He should have gone at the end of the first round, beginning of the second round, and he fell. I'm sorry, the Carolina Panthers actually selected Terrence Marshall with the 59th overall pick. I thought it was the Titans. The Panthers actually selected Terrence Marshall. That's a steal. He'll be able to start with Robbie Anderson, DJ Moore, CMC. That wide receiver and running back core for Sam Darnold is as stacked as you could get. Again, the Titans even had a really good draft. I mean, Caleb Farley is a little bit of a boom or bust because he is coming off a back injury. Dylan Radins is a pretty decent right tackle. They got to fix their last year draft. But this is a couple pieces. There's different pieces that I like. I like Monty Rice going to the Tennessee Titans in the 3rd round, a tackle machine. That's exactly what they need, is tackles and sacks. That's what Monty Rice can do. I also like Andre Cisco to the Jaguars. So, he's a start day 1. But Andre Cisco going to the Jaguars helps, fill in that safety position role that they were looking for throughout the draft. I think Andre Cisco was one of the steals of the draft in the secondary department. They also got Tyson Campbell, I believe, in the 2nd round with the 1st pick. Really good cornerback. I think he's a slot corner. Now you got C.J. Henderson, Shaquille Griffin, and Tyson Campbell. Really good starting corners with Andre Cisco at safety. They're really doing a good job building that secondary. Yeah, those are a couple of the picks I like. Again, people that I would give an A is the Bears, the Browns, the Chargers, and the Vikings. And the people that I would give a C-, which is the worst grade that I could possibly give in this draft, is the Houston Texans, solely based on, the people that were available on the board when they chose and who they chose instead. But if you guys did enjoy, please leave a like, comment, subscribe. Hit that notification bell to be notified when I post next. Go to my Linktree in the description. Go follow me on everything. I post on everything as much as possible. I'll see you guys later. Peace. Bye.